Hello, Nectar in a Sieve, Chapter 4. I have especially selected Chapter 4 for the discussion because it's a chapter that marks a change, that introduces a change in the or a turning point in the novel. So, apart from all the chapters in the novel, you find this chapter as a kind of interesting chapter because it brings a turning point or a key idea of the novel. So, if you go to the first sentence of the chapter, you can say, "Change I had known before." That is how the chapter begins. So, change, we all know, change means transformation. That is something unavoidable. If you take the life, or if you take anything, even if you take the things philosophically, even you know, change is something that is unavoidable. We cannot avoid the change. Change is the part of our day-to-day life. And also, when you get the social fabric, the fabric of the society, you find change is inevitable, it is unavoidable. Or the transformation, social transition, social transformation. But here, when it comes to Nectar in the Sieve, in this novel, you find the word change that appears on chapter 4, that comes up with the tannery, the establishment of the tannery. So it is introduced as a as a kind of disruption. The previous chapters, you find an innocent, safe life introduced by Rukmani. But here the social fabric is disrupted with the arrival of the tannery. So you find the beginning of the chapter as one day Arjun came running to the house saying with the news that people had come to the village, and they were pulling down the houses, and it was like they heard the news of the tannery. Bullock carts were bringing bricks and cement and other construction materials. So it was a big change to the villagers. Something that they did not expect even. It was all of a sudden a change arrived. So here the other interesting point is, as I mentioned, change is inevitable. That is true. But the way that you assume the change, the way that you accept the change is different. You find even in the story, Nathan or Rukmani, how they reacted to the change, or the other minor characters like Kunti or Kali, Janaki, even the kids, Arjun, Thambi, these kids, how they accepted the change. Like some, for example, some were happy, some were with the confusion, some were hopeful. So it is not like change. Change is inevitable, but change is like people assume the change, or people accept the change in different ways, different perspectives. You find that Rukmani, the way that Rukmani reacted to the change, Rukmani was like she was against, or she was not ready to she was not ready to accept the change. So Nathan, there's a very interesting line by Nathan. He says, "There is no way of going back. Bend like the grass that you do not break." Very optimistic idea by Nathan. You just have to bend yourself. Like change comes like it's like a layer, like one layer, another layer, different changes, different. It's like waves, waves coming up. You just have to bend yourself, but do not break your root. Now even like we know different changes now here, like we had COVID, or like economical crisis or food crisis, different fuel crisis. Like we find different changes in our life when it comes to our country. But the like it is inevitable. We cannot challenge the change, because we cannot go against the change, or we cannot be a separate person, or we cannot go on a separate way. Only the thing is that we just have to accept the change as it is, but you can be yourself. So that's the idea what Nathan said. Bend like a grass that do not break your head, like root. His comprehensive nature, his positive way of thinking. There is no way of going back, because when the change, only the thing is like if you do not face the change, you will get lost. The change now, different systems, like you find aristocracy, capitalism, like different layers happen when it comes to social transition. So different, like even in Sri Lanka you find different, like Walau or other kind of people lived, but later on with the emergence of capitalistic society, those changed, like different waves arrived. But if you do not adapt yourself into the change, you will lose yourself. So that's what Nathan said. The social fabric of the village is disrupted. That is true. Rukmani recalls the loud noises and the smells of alcohol from the workers coming up, and the disruption to her previous innocent, safe life. But the thing is, you just have to adapt into the change. You have to move on. You have to continue your life while protecting your roots. That's what they mention. And also, the story, Kali said that it was time we look to our daughter. We should, like, when these changes happen, you have to take care of your family. You have to see then how these changes affect your family. Even with the arrival of the tannery, you find the Rukmani and Nathan, or the other person's children, the children were supposed to work for the fathers farms. But instead of taking the responsibility of the fathers, continuing what the fathers did, they started to move on to the tannery, expecting new jobs. Even Rukmani's and Nathan's children also moved on to the tannery, expecting jobs. So that's how, like, the things are changing. Kunti expresses her excitement over the changes it will bring, and this is once again highlighting the differences between Rukmani and Kunti, how they are reacting to the future. Because Kunti is the type who always demands more, and is she never satisfied. Rukmani, you find on the other way, she's simple, she's easy to, like, easily getting pleased. So very how they react. Even Janaki, Kali, some of the people lost their jobs. Some of the people got new jobs, and the way they got the jobs and the way they assume it. Ira grew up as a young woman, but very pretty, and the village, then her marriage, and how the tannery affected to her. You can see in the future chapters she ended up being a prostitute. So how this chapter, it's really important. It brings a turning point in the story with the word change, the things changing, new kind of the change for the villagers. The overall novel represents the rural life of India. Then also this, with the introduction of this chapter, the novelist introduces us how the inevitability of the change, or how the change affected to them, how they reacted to them, or how they accepted the change, or how change, or how the social transition changed their whole life, and how they moved on. In the next chapters, you can see how their life changed with different perspectives. So as I have mentioned in another video, there will be a seminar end of November. The date and time I will mention later on, after, according to the preference of the ones who join. So if you are willing to join, you can send me a WhatsApp message. So I'm expecting to discuss some essay type questions, context questions, and also overall the techniques and everything related to the novel Nectar in a Sieve. So you all are welcome for that. So if you are willing, you can send me a WhatsApp message, note 71 note 979722. I hope this discussion also gave you an idea, and also I'm expecting to do some sessions related to other novels as well, Tess of the Will and July's People also. So see you with another video. Bye.